Well, looky here. I finally have one of my sidekicks back on the show.
And you lose another one.
I mean, and then we lost Joe. I'm used to. I don't think Joe.
At some point, we're all going to be back together.
Well,
although your clock's ticking, so you're running out of time.
We're not sure about that, but hopefully we'll have a couple weeks with the band all back together. No one knows where in the world is Joe Yock, but sure. We do have a great show regardless, even though he's not here. We're going to talk to Bri Myers of women's soccer. Great start for them, but we also have so much to cover with fall camp and football.
Yes.
I can't believe this quarterback battle. Matt Warner, numbers that matter.
Tail of the tape.
I mean, he's coming in hot with
this
stuff.
Yeah.
And Matt doesn't hold back. He's going to, maybe a little. He does want to keep his job.
We'll see. We'll toe the line. Yeah.
We'll toe the line, but the fan appreciation scrimmage was this past Saturday. So a lot to discuss with that. And like I said, this whole quarterback battle, other notables from the scrimmage. We'll release the fantasy draft order.
Yes,
that's going down. Yeah. That is going down on the show this week, on Flame Central. And then we'll air that on the Flame Central podcast next week. I'm coming back for that crown, baby. We got to find the trophy still, but we got to take it back from Joe Yock. I was talking to some of the coaches before.
You're getting all your insight. That's just what Emily does. She doesn't talk to these guys all year long, and it's 2 weeks before the season, and she's trying, hey, buddy, hey, my guy, what do you know about the running back room? Suddenly she tries to get all the information.
Using my resources.
All your reporter skills.
I am using my resources, but they're like, hey, Emily, why don't you draft a running back? Because we run the ball in this offense. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good.
I hurt you last year.
I think I had 3 receivers last year. It was awful. We do have an update on Quinton Cooley, speaking of the running backs from last year. But first, Matt, let's dive into the quarterback battle. Can we just go
we want to go straight to the quarterback battle, or do you want to do the fan appreciation first? Let's do fan appreciation, and it'll build to the quarterback battle.
Who's even producing
I know,
this show?
I'm taking over.
I mean, I think the people want to hear about the quarterback battle, but we'll keep them stringing along.
Let's talk fan appreciation, the scrimmage that we saw on Saturday. So first off, want to throw a couple of caveats out there, right? When you get a scrimmage like this, number one, you don't expect the offense to really show anything. Willie Corn's not digging deep into the playbook and be like, let's break out some trick play. It's going to be pretty vanilla. Mm-hmm. You expect that. The other thing to know.
And they're still trying to work out some of the. Sure. I know Bill Durkin said at his press conference last week that they're rotating guys in, emergency situations if something did happen with their starters. So this isn't set in stone.
Right. The other part of it is, remember, the defense has played against this offense all camp long.
Yeah.
So that tends to shift some of, the advantage towards the defense, I would think. Mm-hmm. So having said all of that, it was kind of rough offensively. So watching that, it was kind of rough. There was no real rhythm to the pass game. Now, Berger, Vasco, we know they're the two that are competing for this job right now. It's down to them. Berger was the first one out there, Vasco behind him. Just no real rhythm. You got a lot of quarterbacks drop back instead of drop back, plant, get the ball out. It was drop back, look, tuck it, and try to scramble and make something happen. So that wasn't real encouraging. Again, the defense is probably at more of an advantage in these situations. Both quarterbacks did throw interceptions as well, which you don't love. But, and this is the other part of it, when it's a you versus you situation, you're always unhappy about something. Coaches are just unhappy. They're never happy about the side that does well. But I think it's worth asking after this, and this is what my son told me as we walked to the car to try to cheer me up, maybe.
Jack with those hard hitters.
Maybe this defense is actually really good. You look at the depth and the guys that they were rotating through, I think there's a chance this defense is much better than a year ago.
Okay, but I want to say something, Matt, because we roll back the tape.
Yes, okay.
Because I'm pretty sure this time last year, after this same fan appreciation scrimmage, we said a lot of this same stuff.
That's true.
We said, how great the defense is. There's steps ahead.
We thought they were way more athletic.
So much depth. All of that. The offense looks shaky. And remember, that was when Kane Salter was here.
Yeah, we had a lot of guys coming back.
So I feel like we were saying a lot of this same stuff. Again, I'm not saying that there's truth to it with the defense, not being as good as what we think. But I'm just saying, I remember having this same or very similar conversation after this scrimmage.
I would say here's what gives me hope this defense is better. The experience in the back end. Guys like Brylan Green and Corey Jones that have played a ton of football. Amarian Williams, healthy. Damon Harmon is playing a ton at one of the cornerback spots.
A lot of guys have talked about him.
He's a guy, big-time recruit out of Richmond and went to Oklahoma, has had a wild story that we're going to cover here soon on the show, but has made his way here, a lot of talent.
Yeah.
So I think you have a lot of experience and talent in the back end. The linebacker room is probably as talented as it's been in 4 or 5 years here at Liberty. Joe Carter, we know what he is. We've heard great things about Aiden Vaughn. You get the Spurlock, Pollard, Farrar transfers in. There's a lot of talent in that room and a lot of guys you can rotate through. So that's exciting when you get that group. The question maybe has been the D-line because you lost a lot there. We weren't a great team in terms of pressuring the quarterback anyway. And then you lose a TJ Bush. You're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do
But
here?
Coach McGee has talked about the depth on that line. So
there is
that's
more depth,
encouraging.
And one guy that was flashing in this scrimmage was the Florida State defensive end transfer, Aaron Hester.
Okay.
He was getting into the backfield. You noticed him.
He's
right?
feisty. We talked to him at media training.
He's got a massive chip on his shoulder based off our conversations with him. And so that was something where you're like, okay, well, this guy, again, you're looking, it's one scrimmage, whatever. But pedigree, he was at Florida State. He played some last year. He wasn't, so like you look at the pedigree and you're like, this guy should have an opportunity to be pretty good here. He did look good. Here is something that everyone noticed, whether you're a diehard football fan or not, the penalties in this scrimmage. It was so bad that Chadwell stopped the practice multiple times and had everyone doing up downs on the sidelines and on the field. That's not great. Again, one scrimmage, so you can say, just one day. But when you look at it in terms of the context, last season, Liberty 116th in penalty yards per game, just over 66. By the way, in 2023, even the great year they had, they were 117th in penalty yards per game. So that is something that has to get cleaned up. But it has to. And it's an emphasis, I know, for Chadwell. That's why he has them doing up downs on the field in front of all of the fans. But it was a problem. A lot of penalties on the offensive line specifically. And that's something that you can chalk up to, you're rotating a lot of guys through. Maybe it's some guys that won't be playing that much.
Right.
Or you say, this is a scary trend based on the last 2 years and what we've seen in terms of penalties.
And it's difficult when you have a year like 2023 when you were 117th. And you're beating yourselves, but you're still having some success.
Right.
But then last year we saw those penalties hurt so much. Again, you just don't want to beat yourself.
Yeah.
And hopefully that does get cleaned up for this season. Where is that more on the coaches though? Or is that more on like players taking accountability? Because again, if it's a trend.
I think at this point it's got to be on the coaches. When you've had multiple teams come through, like that's something that really needs to be emphasized. And we heard Coach Chadwell say last year, he said, that's on me. I got to find a way. I got to find a way to get through to him. So hopefully that takes place this season. I do want to give, because it feels like I'm being a little negative for one scrimmage.
You're always negative,
That's just normal.
Negative Nancy.
But let me give some positives. Can I give some positives? Special teams. Liberty had 2 kickers, Tyler Black, the transfer from Wake Forest, and Jay Billingsley, the transfer from Gardner-Webb. Both made field goals from beyond 50 yards.
Okay.
So that was encouraging. Tyler Black's would have been good from 60. He bombed that
But
thing.
what about 70?
I don't know about that. And Jay Billingsley, who got it towards the end of the scrimmage, it was the classic, he's lining it up, and Chadwell just walks, from me to you, just walks right around him. Kind of the old, let me just make this as uncomfortable as I can because as a kicker, you better have nerves of steel.
Yeah.
And he banged it through. So good for Jay Billingsley. So that was good. The other thing, a couple of guys that flashed on the offensive side for me, Darius Copeland, receiver, coming off an ACL injury that erased most of last year. Remember, he was a guy early last year they were talking about as potentially kind of that Aaron Bedgood role that could fill in kind of running back receiver.
Pretty sure I drafted him.
You may have. Had the injury. He looked good. He looked explosive. And another guy who I don't know how much we're going to see this year just because of the depth in the receiver room, but true freshman Bryce Randolph had a 37-yard touchdown grab from Michael Merdinger, and he flashed. He had some juice. So I don't know what this year holds for him, but he looks like a really good athlete that could have a bright future.
Yeah, Coach Washington spoke to the media late last week, and really had a lot of high praise for this receiver room. He said
I do think it's good.
The deepest room since they've been here on the mountain. So that's exciting.
So yes, and that's why people ask, what do you think? I do think Jamari Person, he had a couple of tough catches. Casey Kane is a guy who they think could be really good. Add him to the mix of the guys we had last year. This could be a really good receiver room. The question then becomes, who's the guy getting them the ball? And can they take advantage of what should be a pretty good receiver?
You know what we call that? A transition, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost like he knows what he's doing. We're going to transition into who is under center getting the ball, and that's Ryan Berger or Ethan Vasco.
Yeah.
I know that there's, like a lot of pros and cons to each of their game that you want to break down. We're going to give an honorable mention to Mike Merdinger because I feel like he had some good moments in the scrimmage as well. So, Coach Chadwell was very adamant after he said that the majority of the reps are going to Vasco and Berger. Merdinger, it's still not over. So I don't know if he's still trying to
he kind of tried to walk that back a little bit. And then he said but we could win with Merdinger.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
We're assuming it's down to Vasco and Berger, which is what he pretty much said. And then kind of didn't. But that's where we're going to take this.
Okay. So we're going to dive into this quarterback battle just to tease a little bit ahead of the show. Matt Warner was in Green Bay, speaking of quarterbacks, with Malik Willis early last week. So we're going to talk about that. And then we'll also get to this women's soccer conversation with Bri Myers. But the quarterback battle is what everyone is talking about this fall camp. I feel like, last year was so different because you had
Salter.
You had Salter. But I do have a better feeling about the quarterback situation going into this year in terms of leadership and guys rallying behind whichever guy wins the job. Let's just throw it out there before you get to your pros and cons. If Maine was tomorrow, who would be the quarterback?
Well, let me do my pros and cons, and then I'll tell you.
Okay.
So I'm doing tail of the tape. I broke it down into 4 different categories that I think are important for any quarterback and you look for. Accuracy, athleticism, arm strength, and experience.
Okay.
So those are the 4 categories that I'm comparing Ethan Vasco, Ryan Berger.
Okay.
Let's start with arm strength. Been to a handful of practices, so it's not like, again, I'm not in there every day. I'm not
He's not Willie Corn, people.
I'm not Willie Corn.
He's not Willie Corn.
So I'm going off of what I've seen and whatever numbers I can kind of find. So last year at Coastal Carolina, Ethan Vasco had what they call an average depth of target. So this is how many yards downfield his average throw is, of 10.8 yards. Compare that to Caden Salter. Last year, he was at 11.9. So about a yard less of his average depth of target. Ryan Berger, now in much fewer snaps, has never been above 9 yards in his average depth of target in his career. Last year was only 8.3 in his limited time. And just in watching the two a little bit, it looks like Vasco has the stronger arm. So I'm leaning Vasco in terms of arm strength. Let's go to accuracy. That's more important than arm strength, I think most people would say. Berger last year completed only 8 of 19 attempts. That's 42% completion percentage. And we all remember the Bahamas Bowl, 4 for 12, 40 yards. That's our last image of Ryan Berger. If you talk to people, if you talk to people in the program, which we have, and they all say, throw that bowl game out.
Yeah.
A lot of opt-outs. They're playing in a sandbox. Berger had maybe a little injury he was dealing with from that week. So, there were a lot of factors working against Ryan Berger. They had like half a team.
I don't even know if
they had like half a roster for that game. It was a mess.
It was a mess.
All the way around, it was a mess.
So
they say don't hold that against him.
No.
So you kind of try to throw that out as best you can.
Remember, Ryan Berger won the starting job at App State before he transferred here.
He just got hurt in that first game.
And just got hurt early at that App State when he was with App State and then transferred here last year.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. Vasco last year, you look at his completion percentage, 54.4%, and he started every game for Coastal. Now, if you're like me, I had seen that number And I'm like, oh gosh, that's not good. Like at this, like college level, like you can't be completing 54% of your passes. That's not good. But I did a little digging into the numbers, okay?
Matt doesn't just look at surface level stuff,
right.
people.
I got my PFF subscription renewed, so I dug a little deeper. He had 20 drops by his receivers at Coastal last year. So they have a number called adjusted completion percentage that basically accounts for it's an on-target pass that should have been caught but was dropped. You just have a
poor receiver.
Your receiver's just garbage. Yeah, it should be called garbage receiver percentage. According to this, his actual adjusted completion percentage was 65%.
Okay.
So suddenly you're like, well, hey, we'll take that every day as long as you have competent receivers. Yeah. We can work with that. So because of that and the bigger sample size, again, I lean Vasco in terms of accuracy. I didn't necessarily think I was going to do that going into this exercise, but once I dug into that adjusted and saw the drops, I'm like, okay, you can't put it all on him.
Right.
So then we go to athleticism. Vasco's a good runner. He's not just a drop back guy. He ran for 447 yards last year, 5 touchdowns. He did fumble 7 times. Now I didn't see the breakdown of were those when he was rushing the ball, were those he's back to passing, gets it stripped. I don't know, but 7 fumbles is a lot, so that is kind of something to keep in mind. Berger ran for 57 yards in the bowl game, and I think this is just kind of an eye test thing. When you watch Ryan Berger, we saw actually in the fan appreciation scrimmage, when he tucks it and goes, he's got a different gear.
Right.
Like he's pulling away from people. So in terms of athleticism, I give the nod to Berger because he is an electric runner with the ball in his hands.
We've actually heard a couple of the defensive coaches talk about that. Like when Ryan Berger gets out there, like good luck trying to catch him. So that
goes to him. So then finally you come down to experience. Berger just 36 pass attempts in his career. Vasco started all 12 games in the regular season for Coastal last year. He has 399 pass attempts in his career. So over 350 more than Ryan Berger has. So in terms of experience, I think you lean Vasco as well. And overall, I lean Vasco in 3 of those 4 categories. For me, and again, we're not at practice every day. So that's the big X factor here.
Right.
We're just looking at what we have access to here, not what these guys are doing every day, in practice and in this system. But just based off what we can see, I would lean Vasco based on his body of work and what we think he is. There's a lot more question marks in terms of Ryan Berger just because he hasn't done it.
Right. And you have to remember, Ryan Berger was not in spring ball either, right?
Right.
So he didn't go through spring. He was coming back from that concussion protocol or whatever that injury issue was. So I think that Vasco has had, even though Ryan Berger has been in this
That's
system.
what I was going to say. That is one advantage for Berger.
Right. That is an advantage for him because I think he's talked about how even though he has been sidelined, it's really allowed him to like dive into the tape and learning this system. But at the same time, Vasco, I don't know. I just
had
get
opportunity
the vibe.
to do more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you can sit there and study film all day long. If you're not out there like doing the reps, I think that's a big.
And it's not like he was doing it at a D2. Vasco was doing it in the Sun Belt against good competition as well that you think would translate well to Conference USA. So that's where
that's your starter for Maine.
Ethan Vasco.
We'll
see we'll see what Jamie Chadwell decides and when he decides it. That's the other interesting part. When does he make this decision? Like, I don't think Saturday factors in or doesn't help with the decision based off what we saw.
What, the scrimmage?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
doesn't make it any easier.
If it's anything like Coach Chadwell in the past, I feel like you're gonna hear that.
Wait, see who runs out on the field. That's what it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I think you're gonna.
We'll see.
Because I have tried my reporting skills and manipulation to whoa, Coach Chadwell.
I promised I won't tell anyone.
Can you please come on the Flame Central podcast and announce the starting quarterback? Yeah. He goes, will you announce to the world your baby's name on the Flame Central podcast?
I thought that was a fair deal.
Duh.
Yeah, I think
I'm probably having this baby.
She might have it here on the podcast, for all we know. That's.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But it's still exciting, and I mean, we still have another
week and a half, a little more than.
I think this week we'll really know. Who's.
I think the one thing that could be different this time as opposed to 2 years ago when they didn't tell anyone. I remember, because we didn't call that game.
That was what, Salter and
JB.
JB, that's right.
And I remember I was doing the whole coach off the bus interview for a pregame show, and I asked Coach Chadwell then, you want to tell us who the starter is? And he said, you'll have to wait until they run out on the field. That game was against Bowling Green, and so a little different level of competition. Yeah. So you're wanting to hold it back for an advantage. I don't know if he feels like he has to do that for Maine, or if he feels like different situation, I want to put it out there and let everybody know, just kind of take that added like question mark off of it. I don't know how he'll handle it, but it's going to be interesting to see if he announces it this week.
But like I said earlier, Coach Chadwell mentioned that regardless of whoever wins this job, he knows that the team is going to back him 100%, back the quarterback that they choose. So that's good to know, right? That there's not like one guy that isn't as good of a leader. I think in terms of leadership qualities, both of them bring a lot to the table.
It's that catch-22 when you have a competition like this. It's like, we won a great competition. But in reality, you also really want one guy to clearly separate. Yeah. You don't want to go in being like, boy, we got to pick one, but no one's really done anything to clearly separate from the other. So that'll be interesting.
Because you have Maine first, but then it's like you're jumping into the
conference
fire.
Play. Jacksonville State on the road the next week.
And that sounds really hot.
Yeah.
That sounds really, really hot. Yeah. Do you want a little break? We'll go to this conversation and then Matt has some good stuff. I think he's still like full from all the cheese curds he ate in Green Bay that he did not bring any back for the pregnant lady. Thank you for that. But first, let's go to this conversation with women's soccer player Bri Myers. Hey, people, listen up. You know, fall, it's not just about football.
No way.
There's other sports that are going on that are also really good. Women's soccer is one of those amazing sports. And great start to the season so far. Just 2 quick games. But we have Bri Myers on the show for the first time on the Flame Central podcast presented by OrthoVirginia.
We always like to tell people when it's their first time, this is going to change your life.
Oh, okay.
You're not going to be able to. You walked across campus. No one bothered you.
Yeah.
When you walk out these doors, your life is different.
Awesome.
You're going to have to get used to the attention. Yeah, so I hope you're prepared for that.
All that you've done as a redshirt senior, none of that matters.
Nothing compares to
it. Is this moment.
Yes.
It is this moment. But like I said, you guys have had a solid start to this season. Beat East Carolina 3-1 and then tied JMU. Came back late in that game last night.
Some say should have won it. Some little controversy.
Matt's already stirring up the controversy.
Some say maybe got one stolen from us. That's all I'm saying.
She hasn't seen the film.
I know.
Yeah.
What can you say about the start to the season? We're not going to pull you into the controversy.
Don't
we'll
put her
handle
in
that.
the position.
Yeah. You stay out of that.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah.
What are some of your early thoughts on this team?
Yeah, obviously very excited. We're returning pretty much all our starters. We got Ainsley back in goal, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So just looking forward to playing some good teams this year.
Yeah, fast start in both of these two matches, right? I think you scored in like the first minute against ECU and scored early again against JMU. Like, take me into that. Like, is it something about a team that some are just better at that than others? Is it, we played together for longer, so that way we can start faster maybe than other teams have? What leads to that?
Yeah, we have this thing on our team called Big Five, and it's when we own the first 5 and last 5 minutes of the half.
Oh, okay.
Or the 5 minutes after a goal.
Yeah.
So we all hold up 5, and that just signifies like everybody around that we're locking in for these 5 minutes. And so that's pretty much our mindset when we're going into those first 5 minutes of the half. So that's definitely helped us.
That's interesting. Okay, so that's been like a point of emphasis this season. Like, was that something you felt last year you didn't quite do, or what led to that?
I think it's always been a point of emphasis, but I think we've actually capitalized this season so far in those first 5 minutes. So that's been exciting.
Yeah. So you guys have started your season, but I feel like soccer is one of the first teams that come back on campus. How long have you guys been back working out here on campus?
So we got back July 13th, 14th, I think.
Oh, so it's felt like you've been back forever.
We've been back for like a month.
All these students just coming back to move in this week, and you guys are like,
we've been here for a while.
Your roots are here. When you have a team that is like a veteran group like you guys that have been together for a couple seasons, How do you divvy up kind of the leadership? Is there standout leaders on this group, and who are they?
Yeah, so obviously we have captains. I'm one of them, Ivy's one of them, and Ainsley's one of them.
Ivy, friend of the show.
Yeah, she's been on.
Yeah, I texted her before this. Hey, what can I expect? What do I need to know?
She's like, run, just run. Yeah.
Guess you got the call this time. I did.
Yeah, so those are definitely three of the big ones, but we also have leaders in the back line. Lauren Littleton, Hallie Ingle, I know.
Yeah.
She's a big leader. Yeah, so Elise Graff on the back line, just like big leaders coming in big moments. So that's been exciting too.
That's awesome.
Last year, we all remember how the season ended.
Yeah.
And there's facial expression. I know you do too. But the 1-0 loss in the Conference USA Championship to FIU. Some teams, when your season ends that way, that's like a rallying cry, and you keep going back to that. Some are like, the past is the past, new team, we don't even think about it. Where do you guys land on that spectrum in terms of referencing the way your season ended a year ago?
Yeah, I think somewhere in the middle. We're not like reminiscing on the past or like what went wrong, but we're also learning from it going into the future because we will play FIU this year. So we're definitely excited to come in, and we're playing them in Miami. So that's definitely exciting to play them on their home turf and hopefully get a win out of it. So, yeah.
And you guys host the CUSA Championship this year.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
How much of a game changer is that for you guys?
Huge. It's a huge game changer. I just think being at your home, sleeping in your own bed, being with all your friends and all your family can come, it's just like definitely a big game changer when it comes down to big games.
Yeah.
Do you sense, like, because this program, like I remember, I've been here long enough since, when Lang took over.
He had hair when he started.
Yeah, it was, I was, much better looking back then. And it was like a slow build, right?
Yeah.
We heard about all the success he had previously, came here, kind of took a little while to get kind of his system in place, and then we've seen it. Like, do you feel in your career since you've been here, like, from the time you got here till now, you guys have established yourself not just in whatever conference you're in, but even like nationally. You're taking on your all ECUs that I think they were in the conference championship a year ago. Yeah, JMU, same thing. Like, do you feel like, okay, we have established ourselves now as one of the better programs in the country?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my freshman year coming in, we were kind of still developing like the culture and everything, and we didn't do so well in conference that year. Sophomore year, we lost in the conference championship here, which was devastating. Yeah, and then junior was hurt, but we ended up winning the conference championship. So I think every year it's just gotten better and better and better. So
I know you guys have Charlotte on the road up next, but a few big home games coming up. UVA and Virginia Tech, both of them coming to Lynchburg to play you guys. What kind of, what can those games do in order to help you guys in terms of confidence and in terms of just playing, some top talent here in the state?
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a big challenge that we're ready for. I think just learning from the film and everything from those games, I think is definitely going to be huge going into our conference season and just giving us that confidence that we need to execute in the final moments.
You go, UVA on Sunday, home opener, which would be awesome, 1 o'clock, be there. Then Virginia Tech Thursday night, and then you go at Old Dominion. So plus the JMU, like you're staying here in Virginia. You're a Virginia girl, right?
I am.
So do these
Troutville?
Is that right?
Troutville, yeah.
Troutville.
Have you been?
No.
Oh.
It's like an hour.
I looked at her bio. Yeah. I'm not Joe Yock. I do a little bit of research. Yeah. Where's Troutville?
You know where Roanoke is?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like right around there.
Good trout? A lot of trout?
But do these games against Virginia schools, do you feel like, do they mean more to you? Like, you've grown up in the shadow of these schools.
Absolutely. I grew up a West Virginia fan.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
How'd that happen?
Whole family's from West Virginia. Yeah. So I grew up not liking Tech, not liking UVA because everybody liked Tech and UVA. Yeah. So definitely exciting to play them because I've always grown up going to their games and stuff. So
that's awesome. Talk to me a little bit about some of the worship that you guys do post-game and just in the locker room. I see that on social media.
Yeah.
I feel like we saw more of it with men's soccer, but now it seems like you guys are, joining in on that as well.
Yeah, that's been a tradition in our team for a long time. Pre-game chapel. Yeah, I think it's just now like being shown to everyone.
Yeah.
But we have some really talented like singers and guitar players that have just led the group so well, and it's just such a special time to just focus on the Lord in those moments before the game and just realize why you're playing. So
now, do you
your
take
role?
part in that?
Yeah.
Are you a singer?
I'm not
instrument person.
I'm not really a musician.
We get like the maracas. Could
yeah.
you got to find your niche, right? You got to find something.
Or the
accordion.
The cymbals.
The cymbals.
I thought you were doing accordion. I was like, I think that takes a little while to learn. Yeah.
No,
that might be a little hard.
She's a senior. Like, she only have a small
Doesn't
window
have a
here.
lot of time left.
Yeah, the triangle maybe might be more.
Well, if you do need a singer to lead worship at any time, just let me know because
no,
I'm not good at all. They don't.
I'm not
sing.
either.
Yeah, that's not.
I'm in the background.
Okay, so you're just in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, that works too.
How many instruments are we talking here? What do we have?
There's a guitar, 2 guitars normally.
Okay.
And then like one of those beat drum things.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to.
You can learn the beat drum.
Yeah, you can't probably go much more than that because
Yeah.
like traveling on the road.
Yeah.
You need a whole
It's gotta be
separate
small.
bus.
Yeah.
You need the tour
For the
bus,
music.
right? For the musicians,
Oh my
and then for the non-musicians,
Yeah.
that would be difficult.
So Lang Wiedemeyer last year went on his whole adventure overseas,
his
right? Did
long
he do
run in
anything?
Spain.
Did he do anything special leading up to this season that you know of?
He was gonna do the Grand Canyon run.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds
But
hot.
he ended up hurting his hip, so he couldn't do that.
Oof.
But
See, we
that
have
was
normally our third co-host, Joe Yock. He's been saying he would run a mile for like 3 years, but then he always develops some type of little nagging thing as well. So
Yeah,
not saying Lang's wasn't legitimate, but I do wonder a little bit when somebody, comes up, I guess Lang has that track record.
Joe
though.
used
He's actually
to
done
sponsor the podcast,
Yeah.
but he gets hurt so much that now it's presented by OrthoVirginia.
Yeah, they're like, this is perfect for us. Yeah. No, Lang is a stud. He's a
Yeah.
stud. Like that whole run he did in
So
Spain,
impressive.
and if you haven't seen it, you can go online and search, and we did a whole story on it. Unbelievable, the amount of miles that he ran in like a 2-week span. Yeah, great.
Tell me about some of the clowns, because I feel like Ivy,
Clowns.
the clowns on the team.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Ivy wasn't there
Well,
someone
there's
that
been
was
some girls
really
in the past, but I think they moved on. They were kind of out of control. Who?
a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Annie. You're talking
Oh,
about
okay.
Annie.
I think so.
They're
I
real
think we
quick,
even
yeah.
dug up footage
Yeah.
and used it as the tease for the
Yeah.
podcast. It was so
What?
good.
Yeah. Are there some big personalities on this team?
That's a good way to put
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. What's it? Clowns.
Who are the
Yeah.
clowns?
There's definitely some big personalities. Grace, one of our goalkeepers.
Yeah. We're actually doing a
Clown.
story on her right now.
Clown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
A few of our sophomores, they definitely bring the energy and big personalities as well. So
Yeah, if you have 10 freshmen from last year, you're still kind of like making sure you're fitting in and stuff.
Yeah.
So once you get to your sophomore
They're fine
year,
now.
they're
Yeah.
just letting
They're
loose.
fine
Very
now.
comfortable.
Yeah.
So many youngsters. Yeah. Are you seeing that? Like in terms of like these girls taking that next step?
Yeah.
Like you're a senior.
Yeah.
This is it. You're going to hand it off to the next group. Do you see kind of those people in the background? They're like, okay, in 2 years when they're in my shoes, they're going to be the ones leading. the
yeah,
way.
absolutely. They've grown so much from freshman year to sophomore year, from sophomore year to junior year. So I just think like the leaders we have coming up are going to do just fine without us.
Yeah. All right. Last thing from me, and then maybe Emily has more. I know we're not looking past Charlotte. We're not.
'Kay.
We're focused. We're
Yeah.
locked in. But that game against Virginia, the home
Yeah.
opener,
It's on my
Sunday
birthday.
on your birthday,
Oh, wow.
1 o'clock.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Like, give Flames Nation a pitch here. Why
gosh.
you need folks in the stands, why it's important.
Okay.
Because what's Virginia, 15th, Spencer?
Yes.
15th in the country, what it would mean to have a great home field environment for you guys in that game.
On her birthday.
On your
On my
birthday. Maybe we
birthday.
get everybody singing happy birthday before.
I
Awesome.
mean, that'd be fine.
Might be a possibility.
We'll bring
Spencer might be able to make that
bring
happen.
the drum,
We'll bring Emily
I'll
will
bring
bring
the
her
accordion.
accordion.
Bring the accordion.
Yeah, and we'll make it happen. Why would it be so important to have an awesome crowd for that?
Well, big team. We need the energy. And we're prepared for this. I think this is a big opportunity for us, and having our home fans at our home field against a big top 15 team is going to be extraordinary. So
Yeah.
really excited for that.
Real quick for Spencer again, lurking in the shadows. An at-large kind of thing? Like has Conference USA ever had?
No.
Like they've never had an at-large.
No,
Never had-
It's never been a two-team.
Never been a two-team.
Wow.
2 teams making the tournament. So
Well, they're
like
gonna win.
winning
Yeah,
these
we're
type,
planning on
right,
winning.
winning
We're
these
planning
types
on-
of games put you in that conversation, I would have to think moving forward, right?
But we don't hope for that.
Yeah, but of
We
course
hope
we don't hope for that. Right.
We're hoping
We
for
control
Listen,
what we can
control, we can control
Exactly.
one game at a time. Yes. But
One
it would be
game
great.
at a time.
Blocks.
Yeah, but it'd be
This
great.
is why Matt Warner's not coaching the ladies.
I look ahead too much.
Because
I'm
he's
a
looking
fan.
ahead. We
Yeah.
just got to focus
Focusing on
Charlotte on the road
Thursday
on
afternoon.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday,
and just
4
one building block at a time. We're
Yeah.
not even in conference
I
play.
know.
Gosh.
I know.
Bri, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you for having
me,
Best
guys.
of luck this
Exciting
season, your
season.
senior year.
Senior
so
year.
go out, go big, and then get that birthday victory.
Yeah.
Get those girls. The what is it? The Big Five?
Yeah.
Okay, here's how
Big five.
it's gonna go.
Oh gosh, now Matt is.
You come out 1 o'clock Sunday.
Yeah.
Virginia. You get the win. Then you go to Mr. Goodies to celebrate your birthday
Yeah.
in style with a gigantic ice
Extra
cream
sprinkles.
cone. Extra sprinkles. So
Yes.
lock it in.
Such
Done
a good
deal.
plan.
All right, good. We look forward to it.
I don't know if Lang's going to be down for that. Bri, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Big thanks to Bri for coming out.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Lady Flames can secure that birthday victory for her against UVA. Be sure you get out there for that game, Flames Nation.
We've had multiple over the last now year plus women's soccer players on. What a great group.
I know.
Like every time
I feel like they have fun.
one of their athletes leaves, we're like, boy, she was really cool. Like
Yeah.
she was like, and that's happened every single time. So Lang Wiedemeyer has an awesome program and great group. No wonder that they've been as good as they've had.
And I'm just happy that we could be, the reason that her life has changed here
We're
at the
changing
Flame
lives.
Central
It's what we do.
podcast.
It's what we do.
Presented by OrthoVirginia. Hey, we still have plenty to talk about. Flames Fantasy Draft is happening this week. A lot of debate. I'm kind of mad that I didn't say like a shout out like, hey, what do you think the draft order should be? Because you know what happens? Joe Yock, whenever he is the sorest loser and comes in last place, he thinks he gets the first overall pick. Well, now that he beat us by 4,000 points last year, he thinks he deserves to have the first overall pick.
Worst team should get the pick when it's me. Best team should get the pick when it's me.
Yeah.
That's the way he operates.
I am taking control.
Yes.
I get the
Give him the draft order. You're going to have the first pick. I'll have the second.
Thank
Joe
you.
will have the third. And then it'll be a snake draft. So
then
we'll get 2 picks
Joe-
and we'll go back.
Joe, me.
For those that don't know, can I set the table a little bit?
I'm
Because
just really nervous because I don't know.
This is the hardest year by far. I'll say that. This is the
Yeah,
hardest year to do a Flames fantasy draft based on.
We said that last year.
And it gets harder. I know.
Well, I got so many injuries last year.
Yeah.
Literally, my entire team, I think at one point, was all injured.
Here's how it works, because I'm sure we picked up a lot of viewers over the last year.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I hope. So what we do is we get 5 players, 3 offensive, 2 defensive, no quarterbacks. And then throughout the year, we have, I think it's every 4 weeks, we can pick up and swap out, free agents or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And so we track the score, just like fantasy football scoring. We track it. Emily's, I'm losing you there.
Yeah.
We track it and, keep track throughout the year.
Yep.
And so we'll be doing this again. I think it's the 6th year.
I think it's the 6th.
I think I won the first 2 years. You won the second 2. Joe won the 5th year.
Joe's looking
So
for
this
a
is the
back-to-back.
6th season.
Currently, our one and only Doug Cruz is looking for the trophy.
We have no idea where the trophy is.
He's knocking stuff over in the
Yeah.
back of the
may have been
studio.
stolen.
He's like, oh, it might be in the Christmas closet.
Yeah.
I'm like,
We have no idea where
we
it
have
is.
no idea where
So
it
we'll
is,
figure it
but we really need to find that because that's what I'm
That's what
playing
we play for.
That's what I'm playing
absolutely.
for. But that entire draft will take place on the Flame Central show later this week, and then on the podcast
we'll re-air it on the
next.
pod, and we can react
It's
to it a
good
little
stuff.
bit on the podcast.
It's good stuff. I already know my little
You've got some sleepers?
slogans and
Oh,
stuff
really?
that I'm gonna say.
See,
for
that's
each
the
guy I
key to this.
draft.
It's always Joe creating nicknames for
Oh,
his.
yeah.
It's more so he picks guys based on the nicknames he can create, as the way it usually goes. So yeah, it's always entertaining.
It's going to be fun. Okay, let's talk about the NFL.
Yeah.
Matt was in Green Bay catching up with Malik Willis. First time we've caught up with him, obviously, since he's been traded to Green Bay. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it was early on in his Tennessee days when we went to see him with the Titans. It just seems like his growth in this Packers organization is undeniable.
They love him up there. They absolutely do. You saw it this week, Josh Jacobs, the starting running back, saying how he thinks Malik's one of the best 32 quarterbacks, in the NFL, and he's surprised he doesn't have a starting job. So that's high praise from a veteran, running back. They like him a lot. This week he struck. Well, let's take that back. They played the Colts. He was 6 for 14, 83 yards. You just look at those numbers, you're like, apparently he played a lot better than those numbers would indicate. Matt LaFleur, their coach after the game, was praising him and his elusiveness and escapability. So yes, they're very high on him. And remember, when he got to Green Bay last year,
thrown in the fire.
It was like 2.5 weeks after he arrived, after training camp, or right at the tail end. It was almost a year ago today, almost like right now. They just threw him in when Jordan Love got hurt. He won a couple of games for them. They end up just getting into the playoffs. So if he falters there, they miss the playoffs. So that was such a huge turning point in his career. Talk to him some about that. We got to sit down with him. He is as humble still today as he was when he was here.
You want him to just like not be humble and just kind of say.
No, humble, doesn't think of himself as if he's done anything. Like just such a good guy.
I'll take that any day over.
Yeah, I mean, such a good guy. Is such a great representative for Liberty. Need to get him back here. I told him, like, we got to get you back. He's like, I know, I need to come back. So we're trying to get him back on campus.
You guys brought him some gear, though.
We took him some Liberty gear. Liberty Football sent us, like, 2 or 3 shirts, maybe a hoodie. And he was like, it was like Christmas morning. Like, his eyes lit up. In fact, we have it on video. I need to find a way to post that somewhere. Maybe we'll put it on the show here soon. But, like, he was so thrilled to get the Liberty gear. But, no, it was such a cool environment. I'll tell you this. Have you been to Green Bay?
I have not.
It was, and in this job and others, I've been fortunate, just like you, to go to so many cool places and so many cool sporting events. Green Bay is one of the coolest places I have ever been.
Really?
Like Like it's like.
I mean, I'm sure a game there, Lambeau Field.
Yes, I want to go to a game, but it's like. It's almost like
maybe
Lynchburg.
Not in January.
Yeah, maybe go early in the season. But it's like Lynchburg. Like it's like they have like 100,000 people.
Yeah, I knew it was.
The
really
stadium
small.
is just dropped into a neighborhood. Like right across from Lambeau Field are people's just backyards. That's it.
So wild.
It is.
That's like college town. You know.
I said that. I was like, it has a college vibe. They have this cool, and maybe you've seen it before, this tradition. So they have their stadium, a little street, and then their practice facility. And so every day, the guys walk from the locker room to the practice facility. So each day, kids line up along this walk with their bicycles. And it's a tradition for guys they basically hand their helmet to one of the little kids to carry. And they hop on the kid's bike, and the two will kind of go together. They kind of ride, and the kid walks with them. They talk to the kid, and the parents are getting pictures. And then they go 200 yards or whatever to their field. And they get off, and they'll sign the kid, whatever, and like take pictures.
That's awesome.
And go in. It's just so cool. This wouldn't happen anywhere else.
No.
Like it felt very low key. Like it wasn't like a big production. It's just like here's all these locals hanging out.
And it's such like a
small town. Well, it's perfect for Malik
like it's
too.
like the Packers. It's not like it's just some like team that's never won before,
right.
And
there's
like
all this history.
Deal. Yeah.
But like I just kept thinking like there is no chance something like this could ever happen again. Like no pro league is ever putting a team in some place like Green Bay ever again. Like it just would never happen. You're like, where's the big media market we can go into? It would never happen again, but it is such a cool environment. And like I said, I think perfect for Malik as well.
I was just going to say, just more evidence that this is like a perfect spot for Malik.
I kept thinking if you're a humble guy that wasn't all about like, where can I have the biggest stage and all of this, this would be just the perfect place to play.
Yeah.
Like it just small town. Everybody is all in. Like they packed Lambeau for a practice. Like they had like their family night. They had like 60,000 there. It was just one of the coolest places I've ever been. And the cheese curds did not hurt. Had fried cheese curds as soon as we landed, and did not regret it. Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that feature.
Yes.
With Malik Willis here on the
We had a short
Central
report
show.
on last week's
Flame
Central TV show, so go check that out if you haven't already. But we're going to have a full sit down with him coming up here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so more opportunity for Malik, too, with Jordan Love out, torn ligament. So he underwent like a minor surgery. Love is supposed to return this week. But, I mean, even if you're getting those, extra reps and can't hurt for Malik. So really happy for him. Demario Douglas and the Patriots also played a preseason game this past Saturday. Again, no recorded stats for for Demario. I think he had
one target,
but I don't think we're really looking that much into that. I don't think they're digging in the bag too deep to give away any plays that they're going to be.
Yeah, I'm curious to see we heard so much buzz in camp when that flips to the regular season, that's where if you start seeing games with one target, you'll get a little concerned. But yeah, there's been a lot of hype around Demario this year.
Another former Flame that we should have insight on, but we don't have Joe Yock here, is Quinton Cooley was released, unfortunately.
Yesterday, released by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He'd been bouncing back and forth between their practice squad and active roster. They signed a couple of defensive backs to their practice squad, released him. So we'll keep an eye on that and see if they try to pick him up again later or if he bounces someplace else. But yeah, Quinton Cooley let go by Winnipeg.
Remember, you can be a part of the show with our mailbag, flamecentral@liberty.edu. Who do you think should be under center for the Flames come Maine? Or if you have any other questions, suggestions, be sure to hit up that mailbag, flamecentral@liberty.edu.
We did it earlier, but now that we're getting to crunch time, I think we need to get going again, the Name Emily's Baby competition.
Oh, my gosh. I actually think we made a decision.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm not saying it.
Okay, well, you want Chadwell to give up the quarterback. I thought maybe you were going to.
If Chadwell comes on the podcast, I will give up the name.
Okay, you need to text him that. Tell him I'm ready to reveal it, but we do it together on the podcast and see if we can get him on.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, we got a few mailbags. You want them?
Okay, yeah,
All
let's
right.
go.
Our friend Elton sends in, he says, a suggestion. You guys should do a piece on new Flames quarterback Michael Merdinger. He's believed to be the first Israeli-born athlete to play FBS football, and that is true. I had seen that as well on his North Carolina bio. Yes, born in, I believe it was Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
And we talked to him a little bit about that. Interesting kid.
Can I give you another fun fact about him?
Yeah.
Because during the media days, when they came to our studios to do all their pictures and everything, he brought his dog. So
he has a
instantly,
dog. Well,
I'm like,
fan.
oh my gosh, I'm a huge fan of
What kind of dog
yours.
are we talking?
Is it a border collie maybe?
Okay.
I don't know.
You know what?
So cute.
I'm kicking myself.
So cute. Guess what his dog's name is? Sparky.
Oh, it's perfect.
But he got the dog like a month or two before he knew he was even coming to Liberty. Had nothing to do.
This sounds like
Merdinger is the starting quarterback.
This sounds like a sideline hit. Yeah. I'm kicking myself. I meant to ask Bri Myers when we had her on earlier. She has a Great Dane named Zeus, and I wanted to ask her about that, and then I forgot. So that's on me. That's on me. All right.
Something for once.
Yeah, I know. Ruined it. Okay, so that's one mailbag. Another one from Doug, not our Doug. He always puts that in parentheses, not your Doug. We don't. Our Doug.
Our Doug is still looking for the trophy.
He's still looking for the trophy. Few things, but for the one I want to touch on is he thinks the set looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Our new set. That is our Doug.
Our Doug
was key in all of this.
It.
So yes. So thank you, Doug, for that.
Table
by hand.
Built.
He carved this table out of one piece of wood. One solid piece of wood.
Huge
with
tree.
With a pocket knife.
Huge tree.
Yes.
I feel so bad for those birds and all those animals.
Yes. Sorry about that. We harvested one. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Trying to see. Oh, last thing. This comes to us from Brian. He's an alum, lives in North Carolina. His kids are planning to go here to Liberty as well. So, Brian, thank you so much for watching in North Carolina. You know what? We're going to send you a mug.
Yeah.
We're going to send you a mug, Brian.
Look at this good-looking mug.
We're gonna send you one.
Are you serious?
Yeah. There you go.
Flame Central Podcast.
Yeah.
This is a good cup of Joe.
It is. But more importantly, he wants to know, will Joe ever run the mile? He says, I think it's been well over 2 years.
It's definitely
I love
been
the
2
podcast.
years.
Great work. But he wants to know, will Joe ever run the mile? Listen, Brian.
I really think I could beat Joe in the
right now? Yeah, easy.
I tried to do like a 10-yard sprint.
And we've been trying, Brian. We've tried everything.
Brian,
we've tried,
give us some suggestions of how to get Joe.
I've tried embarrassing him publicly. We've tried, then we flip it and we try to motivate. Like Joe, I know you can do it.
And then it gets cooler out, and then we're like, oh, well, now that it's cooler out, you can run. And then he's like, thinks that he's like a professional skier and goes up to wintergreen and then like hurts his groin.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Like there's just always something.
Always something. I'm not
always something. He's
confident we're ever going to see it.
When I get back from, maybe I'll start training in maternity leave, and
you come back
and I come back and I just really hand it to him like, hey, you
say, here's what I ran.
Just had a baby.
I just ran this the mile. I just had a baby.
See if you can beat my time.
That's what it'll take. That's our new plan.
I always have to take one for the team.
Good.
Hey, guys, thanks so much for listening or watching to the Flame Central podcast, presented by OrthoVirginia. Yes. Again, we'll have another one coming at you next week as we continue this fall camp.
It's almost
battle.
here. Like we got real, we have real sports happening.
I know.
Like we have 2 women's soccer games in the books.
The buzz
this week, the men's start.
Yeah,
like, it's coming.
The buzz on campus is always so crazy this time of year, and so is LCA traffic. But that's when you're late, and you might just get Matt gets to work before like the LCA rush. I'm like, oh, let's go. Like, what time do they start? I'm gonna go right in the middle of that. But yeah, you can just feel the buzz on campus. It's always exciting time of year. But football is going to be here and starting. What is it? Less than 2 weeks.
A little over 2 weeks? A little less,
A little less than 2 weeks.
Ay, boy.
But we'll have all your great Flames coverage right here on the Flame Central podcast presented by OrthoVirginia. For Matt, I'm Emily. We'll see you next week.